Hello YouTube, welcome to the garage. Just wanted to share something with you. I've been thinking about on the early 2000s Nissans, especially the V6s, they're notorious for the seal between the coolant passage in the throttle body and the idle air control valve. That seal will go bad and allow water to get into the idle air control valve, which shorts it out and burns up a chip in the ECM. And it's a really poor design, and pretty much all of them are going to, if they haven't already done it, they're going to do it. So since it was such a common problem, and I'm working on a Nissan that has that problem, and I was trying to figure out if there's something I could do about it. You see, the idle air control valve has got this machine surface here, and it comes with a new seal. Okay, well, you can get it without the seal, but why would you? Okay, so it comes with this seal that goes on there, but it actually goes in the groove on the throttle body, and you could probably already tell what I've done to this. What I was trying to figure out what was causing it, when I first looked at this, I've done a repair to it. When I first looked at it, where the bolts went through, there was a little raised area. Okay, I said, this is a machine surface. Okay, this was just a cast surface with no machining done to it. Okay, and there was a little raised area in all of these, which wouldn't allow this to clamp tight to that evenly. And I got out, I couldn't find a regular straight edge, so I used my for doing guitar work, I use this, but it's straight. Okay, and I could get like a 3/1000 feeler gauge underneath this. But what I noticed is I filed down these little raised areas around here, and then I got a flat piece of metal here, and I checked it for trueness and its level. And what I did is I took the throttle body, that area, I started off with 80 grit and just did some sanding on it. When I first started to sand on it, it was only touching here and here, nothing here. So that told me, that this was really, not warped, just cast where it wasn't level. So I kept sanding. I used 80 grit where I could get it down to where it started touching here in the center. Then I finished it off with 220 to kind of smooth it off. And I didn't want to go too far. There's still a little bit of, you can see just a little bit of pitting there, but that's negligible because this rubber seal is going to sit in there. Okay, and what I figured I was going to do is, just as some cheap insurance, I'm going to put a film. I think I've got some Permatex Ultra Gray in there. You're going to have the seal that'll fit in there, but I was just going to try and give it a little bit of help, because the only thing between here and the water jacket is this real thin piece right here. The water runs through here. But so I figured that I would just as some cheap insurance, put a little bit of Ultra Gray in there, and then put this in, and then attach that to, that. And I would think that would alleviate that problem, because with this being lower anyhow, and then with these raised areas here, there was even less clamping pressure between this area here and that. So I'm sure that's where the water, the coolant was getting in. And I said, as soon as it gets in this motor, it shorts it out, and once it shorts it out, it blows the ECM. There's no protection, no fuses or anything like that. It smokes a chip in the ECM instantly. So since there was so little area between the coolant and being able to get into the idle air control, I thought, well, I'd try and make that as level as I could, then put some extra sealer in there just as a precaution. And I would think that this would never ever go bad again, you know, because all you got to do is keep the coolant from getting to this, and you're okay, because it gets right in that hole right there where my thumb is, and it, you know, gets in that motor and shorts it out. So there's very little between here and there. So for what it's worth, you know, I'm going to give that a try. I think that'll take care of it. But if you have a Nissan that's got the idle air control like this is the V6 3.4 or 3.5, I do believe, the V6. And they're all designed like this in the early 2000s. So if you got one like that, and if you got to do this repair, I would personally address smoothing that off so you get, you know, a better seal, and I don't think you'd ever have to worry about it again. Another improvement I made is I went and got new bolts. Okay, it comes with just screws, but I actually went and got bolts with a hex head on it, and I figured, you know, the one long one is 40 millimeters long, and they're M5 by 0.8 thread bolts. The longest one's 40 millimeters, and the short ones are, there's what, 5 of those, they are 12 millimeters long. I got M5 by 0.8 thread, 12 millimeters long, and I got me some 5 millimeter lock washers. So I'm going to replace these, and I figure with hex head I can get a better and more even squeeze on the, you know, on the joint between the two parts, instead of, you know, these are real soft screws. So I go with the hex head bolts, and, you know, and I think that will give me a more positive, even clamping pressure to help, you know, further minimize the potential of a leak. But for what it's worth, that's just my, you know, opinion, and I think it'll work. So that's the way I'm going to do it. And if you have any other ideas, if you've been through this and you've experienced it, and if you've come up with a different repair, let me know in the comments below. Please share it. You know, I'm just here to trying to, you know, help everybody get their cars fixed, and so they'll last, because they're expensive enough to buy. So if you could, you know, comment, like, share, and do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.